here.
Here. Let's go, Betsy. Let's go. All right. Hi, everybody. It's the Fleece and Harmony gang. I'm Kim.
Betsy. Oh, geez. I'm Simone. Okay. Checking in here, folks.
And this is the Fleece and Harmony podcast. This is episode 176, and it's June 27th on the day that you're watching it. And today there's heat warnings.
Yes.
So Simone's a trooper. She's wearing, but she went for the short sleeves on her Ranunculus, which is the finished object. And anyway, we're going to probably be a little bit fast, maybe.
Don't make promises you're not going to keep.
No. Right. So there's really a short farm update because it's just basically summer on the farm, and it's amazing because we've had like pretty warm days and then a day of rain and then 3 or 4 days of sun. And I had to go to town last week, and all the fields were all like tilled and ready to go, but they were still all brown. And we had to go drop Ken's truck off at the mechanics last night, and those same fields all have like big plants in them. Yeah. It's amazing
how fast it happens.
Yeah. So and we've had quite a few visitors come, and every time they're coming and they're asking where the sheep are. So we have to tell them they have 11 acres that they can graze around in. But to be honest, they're in the barn. Yeah. They can come and go as they please. But they're spending the middle of the day at least in the barns, because we have windows on both sides and the doors are open. So there's a nice cross breeze in there if there's any kind of a breath of breeze. And they're just hiding out there.
Siesta time.
Yeah. So I think we got them shorn just in time.
Yes.
Yeah, they'd have been hot this week.
Yeah. And it's not good to shear them when it's right in the middle of the highest the heat in the summer, because the wool, a little bit of wool actually insulates them, so they can get sunburned.
Yes.
So yes, exactly. So you don't really want it down to the bare skin in the big heat of the summer. So it was just the right time when we had them shorn. So they got a little bit of a fluff on them, but.
Because I was thinking, even with your winter breed dogs, you don't shave those down either, because they talk about that it actually works both ways.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? I don't think so.
No little critter visitors?
No, we've seen the skunk, but no little stinklets this year. I don't know where the little babies are. Maybe it was a
male who stayed here and the others moved on.
I don't know. I have no idea about the nature of skunk life, but... actually, last year when we had them, we've had 2 families of them. That was the first year that we'd actually seen any. But we have skunks every year. Okay. So that was a bit unusual, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so that was the farm update. And I think I should say here that there's probably going to be a few breaks because normally we move into the house by this time of year. But I think we maybe pushed it a week too late. So we're happy to welcome customers, but it's going to mean this is going to be a little bit choppy.
Maybe. A
little segmented, but we'll try to keep the continuity. Yes. Okay.
Big words.
Yes.
Be nice, Betsy.
Okay. So the shop update, and it's the last week of the month. So what does that mean, Betsy? That the color of the month, bluebells,
is gone forever after is there 30 or 30? 30 days after the 30th of June.
Yeah.
So get your order in.
Yes, and this is June 27th.
Yeah.
So get your orders in.
Yeah. You've got the weekend. I'll come in on Monday morning, and if your order's not there...
Oh, yeah, you missed the boat. And you know what I missed? Is that we went right into the farm update, and I didn't even say where we are.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you better fill that in.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be right in Betsy's world.
Yeah, so you can buy your bluebells at Fleece and Harmony. Because this is the Fleece and Harmony Woolcast. And did I say we were recording on June 24th? Nope. And we're in the yarn shop that's in our woolen mill, that's on our sheep farm in Belfast, Prince Edward Island. Canada. Yes.
I feel like I'm being a little extra dramatic today.
Are you?
I'll calm down.
Yeah, I was. It's funny because you kind of get in a groove, and then now we're like, we're in the back when like doing production and waiting on customers and doing this. So now we're just gonna take a breath. And yes. So bluebells, the color of the month for June. We're coming to the end of the June, and the last time you said that. That will be the last time ever for a color of the month. Then we got more orders than what we had during the month.
Yes.
Yeah. FOMO.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a lovely, watery, tranquil color.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know that there's going to be a color of the month for July.
We've got some other things potentially up our sleeve.
Yes, because Betsy is going on a holiday.
Yeah.
So she's going to be gone for the whole month of July. So Simone and I and Ken are going to be holding down the fort. I'm going to be doing the dyeing. So I spent a little bit of time with Betsy this week learning the tricks of the trade. Although I've dyed it. Yeah, refreshing.
Yeah.
I actually dye from time to time, but usually the easy stuff.
Dye yarn.
Yes, dye yarn. Yes, exactly. So this, so I put something wrong in the shop update because I said Unicorn Grove mitten kits there, but we're going to talk about that later. And there is no Unicorn Grove.
That is a very different design.
Yes, yet, but we're going to give you a little bit of a sneak preview of that. So I think, I actually think everything else that I want to talk about in the shop is better to be talked about as we go through our projects, because it kind of seems like it doesn't make sense if I just talk about it now. So the next thing on the list is the designer spotlight. Right. And Simone is our investigator for the designers, and you found a good one.
I did, and I have to bring her up right now because I need the names of the last one there.
Oh, so all of the names, I put the names down there.
The last one's kind of like a
choose your own. Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So
okay. All right.
We're in the groove now. Gray Owl Knits.
Yes.
Go, Simone.
Gray Owl Knits is somebody that I've been following for a while on Instagram. She's a Canadian designer out of Alberta, and she does a lot of really fun and whimsical colorwork creations. So if you enjoy knitting and colorwork, I'm sure she has something for you. She does full-on garments. She also does a lot of different like socks and mitts, things like that. So little accessories if you're not, wanting to commit to a full garment, or if you just want something small to knit. So we picked kind of a little smattering of our favorite designs, but you really can't go wrong with any of them because they all look wonderful. So first up, we'll talk about the Unicorn Grove mittens.
Right.
So they're an all over colorwork mitten, and she does it in 3 different colors.
So yes, we're going to do a kit for the Unicorn Grove mittens, but we don't have it ready yet. So it will be probably it'll be advertised in the newsletter, probably in the next newsletter in a week or so. So we have to skein up the yarn in the right quantities, and then we have to dye the colors. So I just want to add to what you're saying about, so it's Sarah L. Kelly is the name of the designer that owns Gray Owl Knits. And what I like about it is the color work could look pretty intimidating if you're not a color work person. However, she seems to go on a theme. So you have mittens or socks or fingerless mittens, and then you go up, then there's a sweater or there's a hat or a cowl that goes with it. So if you like something that she does, she probably has shown that motif on something else as well. That might be a smaller project. So when you go to her page on Ravelry, don't be scared. It's because it's very beautiful, but it's very intricate looking. Yes.
So next up is actually one of those projects, but we'll just keep going. So vintage Christmas light socks. I immediately fell in love with these.
Yeah, they're cute.
They're so cute. So if you're looking to get into a little bit of color work, this is probably, one of the best options to choose from. But she also has vintage color work, vintage colorwork.
We can't find our words today.
No, can't.
I'm not going to take all of this out because it's like, okay. So
she also has vintage Christmas light sweater and cowl.
Right.
So it's another one of those ones where, you know, you can kind of choose which project you want to do in the motif, or you can do them all. Yeah, exactly.
And it's one of the less complex, let's say, motifs that she does, because as she gets going, it's some really intricate, beautiful work. Yeah.
The next one that we chose is probably Kim's favorite.
Yes.
It's the Bunny Wishes sweater.
Yes.
So this one has a beautiful colorwork yoke, a more of a solid portion on the body, and then more colorwork along the bottom.
Yes.
So it's not full on colorwork.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, so I'm like super excited to watch the
episode. You'll
so
love it. You'll love it. It's very magical, woodlandy.
I'll have to look it up for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kim saw that, immediately fell in love with it, and she came in to tell me about it, and I was like, I know that designer.
Yeah.
So that kind of is what spawned the designer spotlight this time. Is Kim fell in love with the sweater pattern?
Yes, somebody's knitting it.
Yes,
from our yarn.
Yeah.
And when I always, whenever somebody mentions a pattern and what they're going to use the yarn for, I always look it up, and I was like, ooh,
that's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one. It would be your you'll see, you've seen the picture, so you know it's nice. But there is also a bunch of other.
There's socks.
There's a cowl or not?
I think there's a hat.
A hat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So it's probably in your best interest just to check her out on Ravelry, because I'm not doing it justice today. But anyway. So the next choice that we had is actually kind of a multiple choice.
Yes.
It's the choose
really
your own option. So she has a series of sweaters that are choose your own. And I believe she also does it in cowls as well. So she gives you a whole list of motifs that you can go through and plug them into various parts of a sweater or a cowl. And these are fun because she has a whole variety of different choose your own adventures, basically.
Right.
So I'm just going to bring it up here. There's choose your own garden. So you can put in little flowers or, you know, things like that. And then there's even a motif for a little gnome. Oh, yes. So you can put the gnome in, just like you can do a whole round of gnomes, or you can just do the flowers and then one gnome.
I would totally be doing
the
little,
hidden,
the little
Easter eggs.
Yeah. She has choose your own Canadian. So it has like, I think there's buffalo, maple leaves, canoes and paddles, and there's mounties and beavers and ducks and geese.
Wow.
This is fun.
Yeah, all sorts of fun stuff.
I know what Betsy's going to do the minute we're finished here.
Totally looking these up.
Yeah.
There's one that two that I'm really excited about, which is Choose Your Fellowship. So it's a Lord of the Rings series, and there's both a woman's garment or a men's garment. So just depending upon the sizing or the shape that you prefer, there's a different garment style as well as all of the options to choose.
She's got 80 patterns. Like I hadn't heard of her, but when I went into the Ravelry to look, at all the things, she's got 80 patterns. So it's great.
A lot.
Yeah.
The other one that I'm particularly excited about is the Choose Your Own Fungi.
Okay, I was wondering. So, Finnish Knitting Stories.
Yes.
Did that one as you were going. I was like, I wonder if this is going to come up.
That's the one.
So Finnish Knitting Stories.
It's just so cute.
Yeah. And she did it where she chose the colorwork yarn was like a color changing.
Okay.
You know,
like a gradient.
Gradient. That's So it made the fungi really kind of like luminescent looking. It was really cool.
Psychedelic.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's probably what she was going for.
And the other Choose Your Adventure, there's a camping one.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like little campers, and
I was just thinking this would be so awesome to do like for my mom. That's just for fun.
Yeah.
It's just, and she loves her trailer and camping.
Oh.
the outdoor adventure. So there's little campers there's tents, there's cute little trees,
and
it's also in like a women's garment or a men's garment, or whatever you prefer fit wise.
Yeah. And hers are they jumpers? Is that what we're looking at?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So no cardigans, but you could easily do that.
You can always steek.
Yes,
you can.
When Betsy's involved, it's just a suggestion anyway.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. All right. So that's a really good find.
It is.
Yeah.
And,
thank you for the customer. Yeah. So they're usually fingering weight yarns.
Yes.
Yeah. So because it's so intricate, I mean, you need something that's a little bit finer.
Get the detail.
Yeah. So our sock yarn or the Wild Winds or sock yarn or Wild Winds would be best for that. So I think it was sock yarn that the customer was buying. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So that's a good one. Yeah. Thanks, Simone. All right. So now we said what we're wearing, but Betsy and I are wearing t-shirts. Simone.
I do have a garment to show you, but it's just, I'm already getting a little damp in the pits.
Yes,
it's a little warm today.
I can feel heat radiating off of Kim.
Yeah. Oh, really? I feel I'm cold.
Okay, maybe it's bouncing off of you back to me. I'm definitely not cold.
Yeah. So, Simone?
Yes, I am wearing a finished ranunculus. Yeah. So, this is... I'm so sorry. It's a mess today.
Yeah. We're all a mess. Keep going.
So this is Ranunculus by Medora Hirose, and it's probably the 4th or 5th ranunculus that I've knit.
Yeah.
It's in the cotton cashmere. Yeah. I knit size 3, so it is quite oversized, but that's okay because it's like nice and breezy.
It kind of has a swing look to it. And the last time we were here, you said you were going to do long sleeves.
I did. And then I thought, nope, I'm going to do the short sleeves because I keep saying I need more short sleeve sweaters.
Yeah.
So you don't get short sleeve sweaters when you keep knitting them long sleeves.
Yes.
You don't really want to just pull the sleeves off.
No, exactly.
So went with the short sleeve option and I'm very happy.
So this is a cotton yarn that has wool in it. Yeah. And have you knit in any other fiber than wool before? Or animal fiber?
I did my very first one in the Bell River DK, so it had alpaca in it.
Yes, but it was still
not plant fiber.
Not plant fiber.
Did I do any in plant fiber? I can't remember whether I did.
Okay.
Or not.
So, and do you have gauge or you didn't check your gauge?
I didn't check my gauge. I just knit a little swatch and hung it to see how much would stretch.
Yeah.
And it did stretch a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it.
Yes, because I was going to say it's a very, the gauge is, I think it must be a little bit looser than, so
it's 6 millimeter needles.
6 millimeter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty big needles anyway. Yeah. But it's perfect for summer.
It is.
Because it's got an airy,
really
it's an airy look. Yeah. If you want, it's not a sweater anyway that's like fully fitted or anything. It's just a casual sweater, but I think it has a nice little swing look to it.
And I mean, it doesn't look great with the shorts that I'm wearing today, but using my mill shorts. I don't change my pants for the podcast, but with like tights.
We're like the news anchors with their tie and a suit on and shorts on it. Yeah.
Exactly. So with tights, I think it would be really cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, with my work shorts, it's a little iffy.
All good.
Yeah. It looks like a nice, cool sweater, and you can have a hand knit sweater that you can wear in the summer, which is great.
And that was kind of the point.
Yeah, exactly. That was totally the point.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our projects, and I put you first, Betsy.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so you've got two finished objects.
Two finished objects. I do. So the one that you have been waiting to see, because I showed that I had picked it back up, is the sheep vest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's here. It's kind of hard to hold up. I wanted to wear it, but it's just too warm today.
Yeah.
So I made this out of the Rowan Alpaca Soft DK. I was just pausing because I'm like, my face is behind the garment.
Oh,
it's okay. The Rowan Alpaca Soft DK, which I absolutely love the feel of in hand. But now that this is finished, I am a little concerned that it's going to stretch downwards because I did color work here, so it's all like double weight, and then I just did single at the top here. And even though I did a 3 needle bind off, so there is some significant seam there, I'm not worried about like that stretching too much, but just I think it's going to pull this front and back part down a bit. Yeah.
So you can feel, obviously, this is at the top, it's single weight, and this is fully double.
Yes.
So it does have a little bit of heft
Of weight
to it.
Yeah. I feel like it just looks like a drapey. You can't really see exactly what it is. Maybe we can take a picture that Simone can put in me wearing it quickly afterwards.
Yeah.
But it absolutely feels gorgeous. It drapes on me really beautifully. But it is intended that I'll wear it like over a turtleneck.
And
or
even your button
something.
band is double.
Even my button
Everything
band.
is double
Yeah.
below
Because I just love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
it's-
what would you do different if you were, first of all, you haven't worn it yet, so you don't know for sure if it's going to stretch, but
right.
I think you're right.
I
It's going to
think-
likely.
Maybe, I was talking with Kim about it, I could maybe knit it tighter, but I also love how smooth the stitches look in this gauge. So I had another idea.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go find that. I think it's called Sherpa. Is it the Sherpa fleece?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a fake, it's supposed to look like a actual wool.
Yes.
Kind of like shearling.
Yeah. And I'm going to maybe line it with that. So it really truly will be a very cozy vest, which I cannot imagine today, but I always forget. It gets very cold here too. And then that structure of that fabric attached to the knitwear, I think will keep it all in the right shape.
And we discussed that maybe knitting double on the top.
Would have been, would have been a good idea. So I guess I could have, how would you do that if you want the same color? Would you just do an actual colorwork thing with solid, the same, would you hold them two together, or would you continue to do every other, like an actual?
I was thinking hold together,
color
but
work.
maybe you do just string one along in the back, but the same color.
bit.
Kind of
Yeah.
like the salt and pepper. Were you thinking that?
No,
I don't know, just
I've
like
never
if
done
you-
salt and pepper.
Okay.
What do you do?
Oh, that's in the saltwater mittens.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, just one colored one.
Kind of that idea.
Yeah. So one.
Oh, yes, but with
and
the
you
same
just did it with
color.
the same color. Because
Yeah.
it would give you your stranded across
Yes.
the back then. So this would be, that's
Look how nice
not bad.
You gotta show your floats. You gotta show your floats.
All right.
It's as always, Betsy. The knitting is
okay.
impeccable.
So,
yeah, look at it.
So that would be, that's actually really kind of fun.
Yeah.
I might have to wear it inside out on occasion. Oh, I didn't sew it quite right for that. Anyway, I should also say, in case for those of you who haven't heard, I took the inspiration and borrowed the chart from Kate Davies. Well, I bought the chart from Kate Davies for her. I can never remember.
Rams and yows.
Rams and yows. I always want to call it yolks and ewes.
Yeah.
Why? It sounds like a great pattern for another one.
Yeah.
Ewes on yolks.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Rams and yows to get the little sheepies.
Yeah.
That she has on it's like a wrap, I think, that she has for her pattern.
I think that's really interesting. The salt and pepper, but with the same color.
Yeah.
That would
would
work.
In some ways, like part of my brain is telling me how ridiculous, what a waste of time. But the other part says, but then you'll have the exact same thickness of fabric.
Yes.
And
I don't, yeah. I think that's right.
we're on to something.
Yeah. Or the lining. That's, yeah.
Or even if you did because if salt and pepper is just 1 and 1, you could even do 3 and 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exchange it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, I think I'm good enough now that if I was doing the same colors and I wasn't actually looking at the chart, it's probably not a whole lot slower knitting for me.
Right.
or anything.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Anyway, next time.
It feels great.
Yeah, I really love the feel of it.
So, and you're going with toggles on the front?
I'm not sure if I'm going to do toggles or we have some in the shop, but they're too small. The clips that clip both sides. Yeah. They're much more delicate, made for, this is more of a hiking sort of thing. Right. So I was thinking of that style, or even I think you can order the Nordic, their pieces that they do and just do 5 of those down the front.
Yeah.
Or maybe nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely not putting buttons on it.
Yeah.
Didn't make buttonholes.
Or a zipper.
No, because I wanted the nice,
ribbed.
Yeah. Folded over rib kind of thing. I didn't want the chunky zipper in there. So yeah. It may be finished, it may not. If I put the Sherpa in there, it will hide the color. Anyway, I will think on it.
Decisions.
I know.
Yes, yes.
So that is that one. It is all done, and it will be waiting till cold winter arrives.
And
And I was completely inspired by Simone's granny shawl that she did last week with her leftovers that she had from the blanket and other bits and bobs from her collection. So I was like, I'm going to start it. So I started on, I want to say it was like a Wednesday night. I crocheted for a few hours, and then Thursday evening again, I crocheted for another few hours, and there it is.
and this is what you get.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was so addictive because it became this game of, can I make it? How many rows can I make it before this little ball of yarn is now too small?
Right.
My husband is always making jokes about never take Betsy to an actual casino. He has to find other outlets in life
for your gambling.
for my gambling
potential addiction.
Yeah. So that fulfilled it perfectly because I was gambling with every row I did, and only once did I start, and then I was like, no, I have to back out. This is not going to make it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, sorry. Did you do the same thing as what Simone did? Just put your hand in the bag and pull?
I absolutely did not.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't do it. I started here. The only regret I have is this, but what I did make as a rule for myself is I wasn't allowed to take it out based on the color. Once I had started it, I was committed.
So you chose the color.
But I definitely laid them out on the couch.
Okay.
And So you have little patches here that I love. So like this green flow chunk I really like. I absolutely love this spruce and mallard and take the fairy and like this purple. So there's a few chunks that I really like together. My only, if I was planning the whole thing start to finish and not playing by any use up rules, this would disappear, and the sprout I probably wouldn't put with these colors. That's my thought. I don't know, maybe when you hold it up it's fine.
No, I think it's cute. I think it's nice.
And ultimately what I really like about it is because it's worsted. I don't think I've ever made a shawl out of worsted weight, but oh my goodness, it's going to be hot. But come winter, like this is going to stand up without having to. It's just. I can get out of that wind.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Just with a little shrug of the shoulders.
Well, that's 2 for 2 for the granny shawl.
Yeah. And it really does like eat up little leftover pieces, and you can tell from some go 3 rows, some go 1 row.
I actually like this one where it's a very delicate kind of a, I don't know what pearl. Oh, that's
it's
pearl.
A single row of pearl.
Yeah, just a single row of pearl next to the pink. It's really,
it looks kind of purplish.
Yes,
it's funny.
It's also fun. That's what I was going to say. So bouncing back to our Sue Mitten and the mercery learning that we've been doing. Yeah, you really, when you do this kind of a game, you can see how it really depends what is on either side of the color.
Right.
To
how
see
it
what it will look
influences
like.
the color.
How it can change.
Excellent.
So
really nice.
So much fun. And just like so mindless in the sense that you just got nothing to lose. Just go for it. Just have fun. So
great. And it's very relaxing too, because you don't have to think about the stitches at all.
No.
And I don't know about, I'm sure you're probably the same way, where you don't even have to look at the crochet stitch. Just you get into a rhythm.
I try every once in a while, both with knitting and crochet. I'm like, oh, I should see if I can do this without looking, because my neck will feel a little twinge.
Yeah.
And I'll do it, and I can, but then I'll forget to not look.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I've been staring at this again. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So in theory, I can knit and crochet without looking, but I just don't very often.
Yeah. I can't do it. I don't know why.
I cannot talk and not look and crochet. Actually, I can't even really talk and knit well. Kim had her mom here one time, and I could feel her mom kind of watching me. Yes, Carol, you, across the room. And eventually, after a bit, she says, "Is that how fast you knit?" Oh, it was actually you or your mom. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And they both of them were implying that it was not all that speedy for how much I produced.
Oh, that was my mother. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I realized, well, yeah, because I can't.
You're staring at me.
Yeah. No. But just, I'm not a great social knitter. So I know when I go to a social knitting event, do not take anything that requires any amount of brain power, and even if you take straight stock in it, be prepared it might not
Yes,
work out.
that's the same with
Yeah.
me. I can't.
I hold my knitting in check.
Yes, that's what I do too.
And shift a few stitches around and then knit a few things to
Yeah.
look like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Where you're just exactly the opposite.
Exactly the
goodness.
opposite. I
Yeah.
just talk and knit, keep
Yeah.
going,
No.
Yeah.
and I could almost knit color work in my sleep now.
Yeah.
But it's just been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
that-
But you just got
Yeah, I
to
wish I
know.
could do it. I'm afraid of making a mistake when I'm not looking. So I practice. I try to go, okay, don't
know.
look for 3 stitches. And I'm staring like this, and your eyes have to stay open.
I'm so similar. It becomes like then you just get consumed about not looking at
I
your knitting,
know,
and you're like,
I
well, this
know.
isn't
And then you
relaxing.
look at it and you say, well, in fact, I don't think I've made a mistake when I've been doing it, but it's only been 3 or 4 stitches.
Yeah.
But it's keeping your eyes open like this. Like,
I mean, I make mistakes, but I usually catch them because I don't know if it's like a spidey sense or what, but you
that
feel
is.
it and you're like, no, that was the wrong hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
it's more you feel the right rhythm.
Yeah.
When you're changing your colors and
Yeah.
stuff. So see, that's the problem because I don't have any rhythm when I'm
Well,
knitting.
see, I used to be a drummer. That
I
must
was
be it.
gonna say you're a trained musician, so maybe
Yeah.
you have some of that like muscle because I'm also a musician, but I never had that set. Like my husband has it as well, where
Yeah.
he just it's in his hands. I'm
Yeah.
a musician in my heart and my head.
Yeah.
I have to work pretty hard to make it come out my hands.
Yeah.
But some people it just flows. So maybe
Yeah.
it's that same whatever that
Yeah.
gift is. It works
Yeah.
for your knitting
Yeah.
too.
Because
Yeah.
it didn't work with my music.
Ultimately, I guess I just got to get out of my head.
Yeah, well, yes,
Yeah.
but sometimes I'm not going to say that I'm a little bit too precise and obsessive about things, but you just can't do it. You just can't let it go. Or not, I'm saying you, but I mean me.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, and there's
that's
no, yeah, okay.
I have other things going on, but none of it advanced enough that I felt you would really want to see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it any
Yeah,
differently than the last
yeah.
time. So.
All right. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is change the order because I have my things next, but I think I'm going to do mine last because I want to talk about all the mistakes I made.
And we do need to update the critter knitter
Oh, yes.
crochet and knit along because
Yes.
that ends on the 30th.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
so go
so,
ahead with that then.
It ends on the 30th at 5 o'clock at night time. I will shut down the projects thread.
Then it'll be shut down forever.
The discussion thread will remain open, but the project thread will be closed. And we'll get in contact with you, and we'll feature some of our favorite creations on our social media with your permission, of course.
Yeah.
Karen really went all out, and there's so many cute ones
Oh,
there.
good.
She recently did a little andall too.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, going for the PEI brownie points.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're almost at the end of it, and I know
It was
you
fun.
certainly really enjoyed it.
I did.
Yes.
I burned myself right out for a bit. I'll be good for a little bit now.
Yeah.
Quick
Did
and
you do
fun.
more that we didn't see yet?
No, you've seen them all.
We saw them all.
A
Yeah,
few of them are
that's good.
still naked and need some outfits, but
Okay.
actually, sometimes I hold off on doing that because if I end up giving them as a gift, I
Oh,
can
okay.
then
Cater it to
that
that.
to the individual I'm giving it to.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. So, so that was a fun one. I didn't do one.
I
but-
didn't do one either.
Yeah.
It's
No.
okay. I
some-
think I did enough for all of us.
Yeah,
So
you
we're
did. You were
Carried the weight.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So, what do you have there? So we already talked about your ranunculus, and it's the slight.
Yes, I finished my slight shawl by Goodwin Johnson.
It's gorgeous.
This is knit in hand spun, and then the original Diva's Desire.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very happy with this. I've actually knit this shawl before, and I loved it, but I needed to make another one. Tanya Pendergast, she shared a picture on Instagram, and I'm like, I need another one of those shawls.
Yeah.
Where do you start? Where's the start?
You start at the point of the triangle, and
Here,
you increase
okay.
up, and then everything is held on a holder or, an extra needle.
Okay.
And then you pick up and you do your bird's eye lace,
Oh, okay.
and then you do your knitted on edging sideways.
Oh, okay.
What did you call this? Bird's eye?
I think.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry.
Bird's eye? Because I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bird's eye.
Okay.
So why do people say that birds? I've never done it, but it has a reputation of being hard.
I don't think this is a true bird's eye
Okay.
lace
Have you
because
knit
yes,
true- okay.
yeah.
Is it hard?
You just have to pay attention.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You always say that.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. Is it hard? Challenging?
No, you just have to pay attention.
Okay.
That's all it is to it.
You won't get it turned around.
Okay.
So this mimics it. It's not exactly the same, but it is similar. And this is kind of like a more simplified version of the bird's eye lace. So
Okay.
you only do the yarn overs on one row.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
like
do
on one
people
side?
say that it's challenging because
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
no rest row? Is
Yeah.
that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's usually it.
Okay.
But it's like the frost lace is the same kind of way where there's no real rest row because there'll be, yarn overs on every row.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never done a lace pattern like that.
I started and I got terrified, but I love this look.
Yeah.
So the most advanced sort of lace I've done is like when it has eyelets.
Yeah.
What are they? Yeah, I think it's called
Yeah.
eyelets.
You can
Yeah.
definitely do this because you can memorize it like that.
I think that's the key. The
Yeah.
actual one I tried to do was too many stitches, and it wasn't so much doing the lace. It was I was completely lost once I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I felt helpless because I was
Okay.
like, I do not know how to go back and fix this.
It's
Yeah.
another technique as well that really benefits from a lot of stitch markers.
Okay.
So if you find the repeats, you put a stitch marker between every
Each
repeat.
repeat. I
Okay.
loved
And
it.
then if it's a shawl like this where you're increasing at the point, then you can just kind of put stitch markers on either side
Yeah.
and put them in a different color.
So you know.
That way you know that you're at the point.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll just get in the groove and blow on by and it's like, oh, wait a minute, I have to fix all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The only change
gorgeous.
that I made with this pattern was she has you pick up all the stitches along the top and then bind off, and I did a 3 stitch I-cord.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cute. It just gives such a finished
Yeah.
look. I'm all about the finishings.
Polished.
lately, paying attention to those finishings.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite thing about this shawl is how it really
Yeah.
lets the handspun shine.
Yeah.
So even with the lace, we go from kind of like a light brown to
Right.
burgundy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I really got to play with color in this.
Yeah.
There is a
Gorgeous.
beauty to handspun that cannot be faked.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
just so gorgeous.
Yeah. And I must say, the blocking job is magnifico.
Phenomenal.
It
Yes.
is like the easiest block because of all the tools now.
Yeah.
I use my knit blockers along the top.
Yeah.
And then the wires.
Yeah.
And I just pin everything out. It was
Yeah.
so easy. And then I had Simpkin right there.
Yeah.
All
Okay. Great.
25 pounds of them.
Yeah. That helped to flatten it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just
excellent.
part of the job.
It's beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
and
looking
it's
at
so
your
light
pickup rate.
and,
It's so perfect too. Look how even that is.
Yeah.
She gives you a trick and then pattern
Nice.
for that.
Oh, does
yes.
she?
Yes, she
Oh,
does.
We won't
Okay.
give it away.
Nope.
No.
But yeah.
If you want to learn that, it's in the pattern and it's
Gorgeous.
a fantastic tip.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. Excellent.
Or technique, I should say.
Again, I
Yeah.
can see it. I can see those details.
So I put the title down here because it's not spelt like it's
Yeah.
called. I think we pronounce it Eastlight,
Yeah.
but
A-E-S-T.
it starts with an A.
Yeah.
And Gudrun Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. You've knit a few of her things, eh?
I have.
Yeah.
And
She's reliable.
I think I've knit all of her shawls and I
Oh,
love
okay.
them all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
It's not an overwhelmingly huge one either.
No.
Yeah.
But big enough.
Yeah.
Big enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the perfect sort of size.
She gives you 2 size options and I think I just knit the small.
Oh, okay.
So you can make them larger.
if you want to.
But that was good enough for me. I was afraid that I was going to run out of handspun.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make sure that I had enough to do the lace edging too, because
Right.
that was, that's the vision that I had in my mind.
Yeah. Nice.
Would you call it lace weight or fingering?
It was a light fingering.
Light fingering. Okay. So
Yeah.
not
It's
full
very
lace, but-
light and
Yeah.
airy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Next, something that was new.
Yes.
I didn't even know about the start of this one.
Oh.
Well, sometimes I'm sneaky.
Yes.
I will start things and see if I like them or not.
Yeah.
And it's usually for a variety of reasons why I will keep secret little projects.
Oh,
This
in
one-
case you abort the mission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just I'm trying, either I'm trying out a new technique or I'm trying, in this case, colors.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure if the colors were going to work really well, but I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
So this is the Lunenburg pullover bought
Right.
as a cardigan.
Oh, yay.
So
Yeah.
I finished the yoke This is by Savory Knitting. And I'm actually using the Cowl FO yarn. And the reason that I'm using the Cowl FO yarn is because I had enough of the yarn from my first Lunenburg pullover to knit the yoke.
Okay.
So it was sitting in my stash, and I thought, I love that sweater. I wear it all the time. It's almost indestructible. And it puts up with my tomboyishness. So I want another one, but I want a cardigan version this time.
I was going to say, you've been dreaming about the cardigan version for a while. Like, you can sometimes see her mentally mathing it while she's doing other things.
Yeah.
So there is no written cardigan version. This is just my kind of mishmash of things. It will have a steek, so you'll see the stitches along the front here. And then, I don't know if you can see there.
You'll take a picture of that.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm just using purl bumps as
your guide.
my little runway.
Yeah.
So I'll zip up that with the sewing machine and then give a little snip with scissors and do a knitted on button band. So I'm doing a little different because I'm again playing a little bit of yarn chicken.
Oh, okay.
So I had enough to complete the yoke, and I swapped out the main color. And this is what kind of held me back from showing it before, because I wasn't sure if it was going to play nice with all of the colors in here.
This color?
Yeah.
You weren't sure of that?
I wasn't sure if it was going to hide some of the other colors. So
but it's gorgeous.
it turned out really well.
Yes.
Really,
So
really
this
good.
is the ginger colorway. And
what yarn is it?
it's like in a nice rustic heather sport.
Yeah.
So if you were wanting to make this, but in a less rustic yarn, the specs are almost identical to felted tweed.
Yeah.
And that gives you how many different color options?
63.
Yeah. So it's a lot of
going up.
Yeah. So I have no problem with woolly wools. I can wear them next to skin, but I realize that they're not for everybody. So
it feels rustic. Yeah,
it does,
but it's going to last forever.
Is.
That's one of the. That's the one thing,
and it does
And
soften
I
up.
actually I wish that it didn't bother me, because the structure that these yarns give to garments and when you do color work, that also just they just kind of grab each other and stay in place, and there is something really, really beautiful about it.
So I can see it's a little bit. It's going to be hard for folks at home to see it. So take a picture. So that's And I think you wanted to talk about steeking, because what you're going to do it on the sewing machine on the edges and then cut up the middle.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about something about steeking the alpaca soft.
So I would recommend sewing it. I did not try not sewing it, but I have worked with some of the Norwegian wool, which is also quite rustic and is created
sticky.
For color work. Sticky, The Rowan alpaca DK is not sticky, which is why I think it's so soft. It's almost silky. So I definitely would use the sewing machine, and I'm so glad I did, because as soon as I cut it, it was maybe my imagination, but I felt like I could see it trying to slither back through. I know knitting doesn't naturally want to unravel that way. But again, by the time you're moving and shifting in a garment. So, and then we had also talked about, Simone called it her runway. I was calling it railroad tracks. So I think that's a great idea. Creating yourself some sort of visual line in the knitting. Either if you do it with color work where you go back and forth, keep the straight line of two of the colors, or Simone used the purl. Both are really great, because once you think, I can sew up a straight line of knitting, it's not so easy once you get going on a sewing machine. One little shift and you'll suddenly be on the wrong row.
So some people do a checkerboard. And I've done that before, and it's not my preferred method, because I find it much easier just to have that.
So what I did with mine is I did a row of black, then whatever my color was I was working with, and then black, the color. So it was 5 stitches incorporated, and 2 of them were the light, and then the 3 were the black. So I knew I would cut right up between the 2 light colors.
On the black line.
On the black line,
Something else having to do with steeking too is if you're nervous about the fabric that you're creating, that it is kind of a slippery fabric, you can always increase your steek size just a little bit.
Yeah.
I do 7.
Yeah.
I like when I did my paisley, I actually did 7 because it was the first project that was that big. I wasn't taking any chances.
Yeah.
I didn't need 7 because in the end it stayed, and I sewed
But it's
as
just
well.
for like reassurance.
But if you're if you're nervous when you're first doing, and it's no big deal to add 2 more, but it should be a uneven number so you can follow the one in the middle.
Yeah.
So technically there'd be people that would stay so clear that you should probably sew up on a very soft yarn and something
silky.
that's
Anything
so
that
soft.
feels remotely silky. I would
Yes.
say. Yeah.
This there'd be hardcore people that say, "Oh, you didn't need to sew."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So do they say that because by the time you pick up the stitches for the button band, you've then secured the yarn? Is that
Some
kind
of
the
the
idea?
wool, like especially with the Shetland wools, they're such a woolly wool, and they really love to stick together.
Okay.
So some people don't even bother with reinforcing.
That was the other one that I thought I want to give that a try sometime. Felting it.
Oh
Yes.
Where someone said they felt it.
Yeah.
Because then you
You can
wouldn't
do
have
that.
the little ends to
Yeah.
deal
Yeah.
with either. So
Yeah.
just taking a little felting needle and sort of felting that middle section before you cut it. I
Yeah.
want to try that. Geez, stick my eye out.
Well,
I want to try that one someday.
yeah.
And there's also the crochet steek method as well.
Yeah.
I have done that before. It's not my preferred method.
So
Again,
you're crocheting in one of the lines on
Yes.
each side.
Yeah.
Yes.
I found even though I used a smaller yarn, it added bulk
Yeah.
to the kind of flaps on the front. So I didn't really love that.
I think
Makes
Jennifer
sense, yeah.
Beals suggests that sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where I first heard of it. But if you're using a really fine yarn, it's less noticeable. But
I can understand maybe because also your sewing machine can mess the tension a little bit. Like it can actually almost, if your stitches are too small or too tight, your sewing machine stitches can warp the fabric a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where if you're unsure, take a swatch and try it a few times on there. Try some different stitch lengths on your sewing machine. Try some different tensions.
I use
Just to
zigzag.
kinda-
Is that what you use?
No,
No,
I
I'm
just
straight
straight
stitch.
I use zigzag.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh,
straight
and-
stitch.
all right.
There's also the fact that not everybody has a sewing machine or has access to a
that's
sewing
true.
machine. So
Yeah.
having different options up your sleeve is great
Yeah.
because then you can still steek.
Yeah. Like I said, I want to try that felting one.
Yeah.
I think that sounds really cool.
And all of this talk about steeking is making it sound way more dramatic than it is, because when you actually do it for the first time, the build up in your mind about cutting your knitting and everything, and then you cut it and you go, oh,
Yeah.
okay, nothing happened except my yarn and now it's cut, so I can do it.
I mean, you do have to be prepared. You're now going to have to deal with a fairly rough edge. So
Yes.
you'll want to have a technique or a plan in place
Yes.
that you're somehow going
Yes.
to
But it works.
cover that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of options for that too.
Yeah.
Another one, Simone, or I can't remember. One of you suggested was the ribbon, putting like
Yes.
ribbon over it. So if you don't want to have a
Like
a
a
fold
facing
over
or
it,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So excellent. Well, this is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is hand-dyed yarn, I am alternating skeins for the body, and there's
Right.
a little bit of difference.
Yeah, I can see it.
But
yeah.
doing helical knitting, I'm pulling out all the fun stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just putting a beautiful tonality into
Yes.
it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So it's gonna
So
be,
Simone too.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So,
Yes.
you tried a new kind of spinning.
I did.
Yes.
And I was absolutely terrible at it, but it was really fun.
Okay. And what we're talking about is,
A Navajo spindle.
yes.
So we had a lovely customer come in, was it last week?
Yeah, I think so.
It was either last week or the week before. And she was visiting from BC, and she said, "Oh, I have something to show you." So she ran out to her vehicle and she came back in with a Navajo spindle. It was, I think, one of the 3-foot tall ones.
Oh.
I took a photo of it. I think I still have it on my phone.
I saw the picture and I
Yes.
thought, well, it just looks like a spindle. So I didn't understand that
Yeah,
it's 3
they're
feet
big.
tall. Oh,
They're big.
Okay. Wow.
And they're the ones that you roll on your leg so you can make thick yarn with it. I, of course, defaulted to very, very fine yarn, which is completely inappropriate for it, but I actually got to spin a little bit. So that was
Wow.
really, really cool. I was
Cool.
so excited to get to try that because it's been on my bucket list.
Yeah.
And now I'm just gonna
So
have to get one.
you said about 3 feet tall. Are you serious? Like it's like this?
It's large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because on the when you I think you did the picture in your Instagram or something. I looked. I said, well, it just looks like a drop spindle.
Yeah.
But
I was like, what's so special about this?
I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a supported spindle, but it's really large.
Yeah.
And she left the maker's name, so I
Okay.
went and I looked them up, and they offer 2, 3, and I think even 4 foot spindles.
Oh wow.
So
It's like a small person.
Yeah.
they're really large, and
Yeah.
I
Cool.
can't wait to try it again.
Well, now it's much more fascinating.
Yes. Yeah. Because anybody that's done any amount of spinning knows that once you start out and you kind of go finer and finer and finer, and then it's really hard to go the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this could be the ticket
Guilty.
for
Yeah.
making fatter yarns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, so now, because I thought that it was somehow the technique. So,
It's the
but
actual spindle.
it's
Yeah.
actually the spindle as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
Cool.
It was a real treat to get to try that.
Yeah, cool. Okay. All right, so now it's my turn. So I have Tune finished, completely finished. And my fears were founded. It's a little bit too small. So here it is. And I did my I-cord, edge, and I did the sewn up Pico edge on the bottom, which I love.
It's really cute.
Very cute.
It looks awful on me.
I had the same issue with mine.
It's so cute. And I think
It's great on the hanger.
well, yeah, I know. It's so cute. And I wanted it so badly. And I even I said, can you put it on? And he put it on and it looked
It
like
looked great on him.
Yeah, it looked great on him if he was going swimming in
I was
1940.
gonna say like Sailor Ken.
Yes, exactly.
Swimmer Ken.
So there's a lesson to be learned in this.
Yeah.
So Simone and I have pretty broad shoulders, and I wear sleeveless things, but nothing like a cropped t-shirt. Whenever I wear something sleeveless, it always has a bit of a flare on the bottom to balance out my body type, which I have sat here many times and talked about. Use knitting for your body type.
Yeah.
This would have been so easy for me just to do like a little bit of an A line.
Yep.
It would have been if I had thought about it for 5 minutes, but I didn't. And I added a little bit of length, but even then, by the time I put the hem up, it's not cropped, but it is like just below my waist, which is that's not a good look for me. And I think it's the sleeveless. I wear striped things all the time,
you do.
which I shouldn't probably technically wear, but it has to be the right shape.
Yeah. And I ran into the exact same thing whenever I knit Tune. I didn't do the increases because if you start with a smaller bottom and you increase up, I just went with the straight sides.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing where I looked on it. I knit it. Thought it was just the cutest thing ever. I tried it on and I'm like, for my body type, this is hideous.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not flattering for when you have broad shoulders and I know that I wouldn't buy this, but yet I wanted to knit it.
It was just so cute.
I know.
Well, I've been wondering too, because I've listened to you ladies try a few different cotton knit tank tops, and when I think about it, any tank top at home that I like that fits my body well has so much elastane in it.
Yeah.
Like it just, I think in order for them to fit your body well, they need to have some stretch or have been perfectly tailored, which is challenging.
This is a lovely fabric, and if I had just done it with a little bit of a flare, it would be okay. I think,
So not even for wearing like under a jacket.
Oh yeah, for sure you could.
Okay.
But I think I have somebody. Yeah, I have somebody that I think will like to wear it.
Okay.
So, but yes, I actually never even thought about that. I so seldom wear a jacket anymore. These days, but it's just. I loved knitting it. I loved it. I kind of fell off the wagon when I knew that it was probably going to be a little bit too tight. But even still, when I was sewing it and doing the I-cord, I loved the yarn. Yeah. I loved the design when I saw it. And it just doesn't
Well, again,
not
it
flattering.
has beautiful finishings.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
eye cords are gorgeously even, like no lumpy bumps in them.
So what happens is maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll take a picture of it on and show it. But it just is where it hits me just below the waist is like not a flattering spot. And then these sleeves are really like come in, and I have other shirts that are like that.
Cut.
Yeah, and I have other things that I have, like one in particular, this kind of but it's kind of like a flowy, silky kind of material, which this would be really drapey, except that I added extra stitches, so I really should have thought about it. And I wanted to talk about it because I was debating whether I would even show it, but I wanted to talk about it because it goes back to something that we've said a lot. And there's 2 books that we carry that tell, if I had remembered all the lessons that I learned from Amy Herzog in her Ultimate Sweater book. She talks a lot about body type and what are the most flattering shapes. And the same with the Cocoa Knits workshop. I learned a lot from this one where, again, it's talking in a different way, but then these 2 books, which I loved and felt that I learned all the lessons for, and then I turn around and knit something that's
well,
it was so cute
too. And that's the thing. It's like we look at these things and we're like, they're really adorable. I think that would be great on somebody else.
Yes.
It's probably a little bit like sort of the fast fashion trends where you see someone wearing something and you're like, ooh, I want that. And then you go, but the difference is in 5 minutes at the mall, you can put it on, look in the mirror and be like, oh, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
That was really cute on that person. But here, before you can get to that point, you've already invested so much.
Yeah.
So anyway, luckily, if you knit something like that and you have somebody in your life that would appreciate it and will look great in it, that's good. They got a gift.
Yep.
But I'm really, I don't know. I was just like, it's so crazy. I knew better.
Yeah.
And maybe that's really,
that's like me with V-necks. I know before I even do it that I'm not going to be happy with it, and then I still keep trying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this one's going to be the one that works.
Yeah. So, and like this t-shirt that I have is clingy, but it has a scoop neck. Scoop neck is good on me. Or good on me. Or a V-neck is good on me, but not the sleeveless with no balance on the bottom. You have to balance off the top with the hips. When you have no hips but a bigger top, then you need to knit the right thing.
But it's funny because I'm the opposite, where I have no top and I have more booty, and it still didn't look good on me.
Well, yes, but it's not it's the shoulder width too. I have shoulders and I have boobs. Let's just say it. So I got both. So then it's the shoulders, and especially with that, and then you on top of that, just as per the design, you emphasize the cutting where it's cutting around. So what happens is it's like in from the shoulder, so that looks like it's even wider, and then tight under the arm, so that makes the boobs look even bigger. And
didn't work for me.
And then no hips below, but you have hips. You're more shapely than I am, and but it just cuts me in the wrong place.
It just isn't for you.
Just goes right around the thickness of my whatever. So anyway, I have somebody that I can give it to that will love it, and that's perfect. And it was a nice project to do, but you need to. We need to remind ourselves. We know what works and what
sometimes
doesn't.
I think we need these little lessons to ourselves too, because we get I'll speak for myself. I get all stubborn. It's like I said of the V-necks. Keep trying them. It's like, this is going to be the one that works. Yeah. And I should just stick to what I know. Yeah. I feel good in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the good thing it was a t-shirt with no sleeves.
Yes.
Because then it went.
Put all that sleeve
if it was a tunic with sleeves, then that would have been, I might have been a little bit less philosophical about the whole thing. But anyway, it just, I liked everything about it except on me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was me too.
Yeah,
Well, you love
exactly.
your stripes. You know you love your Cornwallis. So
Yeah.
maybe you just
Yes.
have to make the Cornwallis in another set of colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually wore my Cornwallis the other day
Yes.
and I looked at it and I was like, why does this work? And I realized that it's much looser.
Yeah.
There's no stripes on the shoulders.
No,
So
it's
you get
solid.
away with it because you've got the solid on, and the stripes start down here.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Which was kind of my thought with this, because similar to you, I have broad shoulders and I didn't want to bring that pattern all the way up into here too.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up choosing to go with the
So the shape of
out.
this is very flattering on you. I'm
It works.
assuming.
Yeah, I've made this one several times again.
Yes,
Like I have
yeah.
other ones in this, but I knew to bring the color work all the way up might
Right.
just be a bit, there's too much going on
Yeah.
all over. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because this is the exact same idea as your Cornwallis.
yes. Okay. So then so now that one's finished, like really finished. And so I pulled out my You Can Do It. So I haven't worked on this, but I wanted to, it's been so long since I worked on it. I'm sure that we have viewers that have never seen it. So this is my You Can Do It. So this is my next abandoned project that I'm going to finish, for those that are keeping count of all the things that I pull out of the bag out of hibernation. And as the same kind of thing, the only thing I have left to do is the top part, finishing the yoke in the neck. I've got the back and I've got the front and I've got the sleeves both done all to this point, because now I'm just ready to join the sleeves. It'll still be pieced, but I just have this top part to do over the whole thing.
I feel like we should clarify for those who truly haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
The You Can Do It is not a pattern.
Yes.
So we had a little fun mid-along, I think it was just amongst ourselves a little while back, and we called it You Can Do It because we purposely designed a sweater from another store-bought sweater that we had.
Right.
So Kim is recreating that store-bought sweater
Yes.
in natural fibers is
Yes.
what the idea was.
Yes.
So yeah.
So yes, because it was a wool acrylic blend, but it's one of my favorite sweaters. So I'm just reproducing exactly. I measured the sweater. I did all the steps. Came up with a design. Like the motifs are similar, different, but similar sizes, like the repeats and everything. So it's not rocket science, but anyway, and it's made from cotton cashmere, Rowan Cotton Cashmere, and Alpaca Classic, because the sample sweater had this little bit of fuzz to it. So that's what I'm doing. So, and I've been crocheting so much that I'm actually really dying to knit.
You just want to get back at it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and I am crocheting the Homage to the Granny Square and the Wallflowers. I'm not going to show anything on the Wallflowers, but I have these medium squares, which I have
Really cute.
4 more to do.
Okay.
And then the last thing that's on from this blanket, and I'll show a picture of what I'm doing, is 4 big squares. So I have 8 squares, 4 of these medium-sized ones and 4 big ones, and then it's done.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Whoops, what happened here? How do you stop like
oh,
halfway through a round?
I ran out of yarn.
Oh,
So I have to pick one up today
Okay.
from my
Alright.
favorite yarn store.
from
Yes.
LYS.
My LYS, yes. So this is, like I said, I just have a couple more of these to do, and then 4 big corner ones that you do, and then that's it.
And it's assembly.
Yep. And I'm keeping Betsy in suspense because Betsy wants to know how you put it together. Yeah. So unlike the Wallflowers and the Tessellation Nation that you are doing, they usually you usually are joining with the Sue's classes as you go, and this one is not. You do all the squares first and doing that. So still enjoying that.
Good.
All right. So is there anything else? I think we have, oh yes. So Rowan is planning, they're just started a knit along for, it starts on June 30th, which is called the Rhythmic Knit Along.
30th?
No, June 30th. They're doing a rhythmic knit along. So
Okay.
that's a different one. It's with a yarn that we don't carry for them. So I haven't really talked too much about that. But in July, they're planning Festive in July again. So if anybody's been following us, the last 2 years, they've had different designs for Festive in July, and they're going to do it again. And I think I'm allowed to say that Arne and Carlos are the designers for this one. So it was, I think Martin's story was for the last
for
two.
the snowflower.
Yeah, the two, the snowflower and
the
the
blanket.
festive blanket.
Yeah.
So this time it's Arne and Carlos. So of course they'll be using their Norwegian wool. So we will be, I've gotten a couple emails about if we're restocking Norwegian wool, and the answer to that is yes. And they're out of one of the colors. Rowan is out of one of the colors of what's in Festive in July, but I just got a note from them saying that it should be back in stock by the 18th of July. So by the time I get it, it may be late. So the color is color 17, which is the emerald. Other than that, everything else will be in stock. So it happens that the Norwegian wool is exactly the same specs as our Selkirk worsted. It's a 2-ply, and the weight is the same. And we do have a color that you could substitute for the emeralds if it's not in stock, and that is Trillium. It's just a tiny bit darker, but it still fits with the project. And the other one that I have in my hand is Sumac, which is lighter than the emerald. And if you want it to be more muted, you could go ahead and use this. But if you're looking on the website, I'm recommending Trillium. So when it comes time to unveil and reveal what the Festive in July project is going to be, if we don't have the emerald in stock, not to worry. You can purchase the Trillium, and you'll have one part of it that's from Fleece and Harmony. So that's it. Okay, so now we're just going to do a little segment on the PEI Fibre Festival. So that is in October 23rd to the 25th in Charlottetown. If you've been watching for a while, you've heard me talk about this a lot. I wanted to talk about 2 classes that I'm particularly interested in because they're a little bit different. So there's tons of knitting classes, and there's actually tons of crocheters. There are crochet classes. So you crocheters, if you want to look at the crochet workshops, there's lots and lots of crochet this year. But the two things that I was kind of intrigued about is Dorset buttons. So for anybody that doesn't know what a Dorset button looks like, I'm showing a picture, and that's going to be a class that's taught by Gillian Noonan.
I think we have a fan in the house.
Jillian's really sweet.
Yeah. Oh, you know her?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So what else does she do?
Everything.
She does everything? She's a multi-crafter?
She's a multi-crafter.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So she's going to teach a workshop on Dorset buttons, and the first time I ever saw a Dorset button was on a Fruity Knitting episode, I think, and I've been intrigued ever since. And it's notoriously hard to find good buttons around here.
Yeah.
So if you can make it yourself, I think it's she's got a couple of really cute little examples of things with little floral bouquets in the middle and stuff like that. Okay. So there's 4 spaces left. I checked this morning on that class. So if you're interested in that, you should probably sign up sooner than later. And the other one that we do have a couple classes for rug hooking, so punch needle and so forth. But Ruth Dowling is doing a class. It's a 6-hour class, and it's called the Blue Delft rug, and it's all in blue. So it's the study on the different shadings and things, and it looks like a Delft plaque. when you're done. So that was something that when I looked at the roster of classes, I thought that looked really interesting as well. So she's got quite a few spaces left because she can accommodate quite a large group. And if you read carefully the description, if you're interested in that, you get the supplies to make like a swatch basically for the rug that you would make. And like I said, it's a 6-hour class, so you by the time you leave there, you're going to know all about how to do this rug. And it's a really cool. We're so used to seeing rugs with so many colors and everything. It's blue and white, and it's just gorgeous. So that's that. So PEI Fibre Festival in Charlottetown, October 23rd to the 25th. And now we're at the end, and I think we kind of got into our groove.
Yes.
After
Much
I messed that up.
Stumbles on the word groove.
Yeah. So now it's time for the harmony part. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Again, there's lots of things to look at these days because everything is beautiful and summery now. So as usual, the harmony part will just be a few minutes of music and enjoying some, usually nature inspired, I would say.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll wish you a great 2 weeks with all your crafting that you're doing, and we'll see you back here. Well, it'll be Simone and I by ourselves.
Yeah.
Because
We'll be missing Betsy.
Yeah, we'll be missing Betsy. So it'll be Simone and I at the news desk in my kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, and have a wonderful 2 weeks crafting. Bye.